Democrat Jerry Nadler will be the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee when the Democrats take control of Congress. Here's what he had to say yesterday.
The fact that he was lying to the American people about doing business in Russia and that the Kremlin knew he was lying gave the Kremlin a hold over him. And one question we have now is, does the Kremlin still have a hold over him because of other lies that they know about?
During our discussion now, Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. He's a member of the House Intelligence and the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Swalwell, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I want to get your reaction to the president's day today, where he was obviously publicly in the business of trying to influence witnesses.
Good evening, Lawrence. I think the Mueller investigation, if you were comparing it to a chess match, has put the president in check, and the president is now making erratic moves that is exposing his position. As a former prosecutor, I've seen this before. As you get close to the end of a case or close to a verdict, defendants start acting quite irresponsibly, and they reach out to witnesses. They try and delay the inevitable, and I see that happening here. There's a crescendo that is coming, and all of the evidence suggests that you're going to find that this president, his family, his businesses, his campaign were eager to collude with the Russians. They were eager to do business with them, and when they were confronted, they told a lot of lies.
What the president did today would have been incorporated in an Article 1 article of impeachment if the Congress that brought impeachment articles against Richard Nixon was in place today. This seems to be a very different Congress. The sensitivity to these things seems to be very different from in Richard Nixon's time. Is that true in the Democratic side also? Is there a lack of reaction to this today?
Well, for the last 2 years, Lawrence, we've, quite frankly, felt powerless, and we've had to rely on people on the outside, the people who've gone to the streets, who've run the Protect Mueller protests, and with their spirit, they were able to help us elect 40 people to win the House. And so we're not powerless anymore. And actually, we're in this position now where I think we have to, really assert our confidence and tell the American people it's going to be okay. We can prevent the president's worst instincts now. We can intervene where necessary. We can put a straitjacket. The president wants to be harmful, and that's going to start by conducting all of the investigations where he was given a free pass before. One, to hold him accountable, but two, we've got a presidential election coming up. We've got the same adversary that helped him in 2016, just as capable and just as likely to want to help him again, and we better make sure that this democracy is not made a mess of again by this president and his team.
Mike Quigley, one of the members of the Intelligence Committee, one of your members of the committee you're on, told NBC's Casey Hunt today, she asked, does he think that Donald Trump Jr. lied to the committee? Because in the wake of Michael Cohen's new guilty plea, there's a lot of speculation about that. And what Mike Quigley said was, I wouldn't be surprised if he lied to us. He said there were some circumstances about communications with his father, about the meeting at Trump Tower. Do you believe that Donald Trump Jr. lied to your committee?
I think he showed a consciousness of guilt when he was asked about conversations he had with his father, whether or not he told his father about that meeting that he took where the Russians were offering dirt on Hillary Clinton. And he told us, Lawrence, he said that he's not going to answer any questions with his father, asserting a father-son privilege, which is a privilege, only something that the Trumps could create. And I think innocent people would have been straight with us. Don Jr. didn't want to be straight. Bob Mueller will know the answer to that.
And Congressman, there's a lot of speculation now in the wake of Michael Cohen's guilty plea that that it's more than just Donald Trump Jr. It is possibly the president's son-in-law. That this is the key turn in the case. Does it, knowing what you know, is the Michael Cohen plea as big a turn in the case as it has been portrayed to be?
It is, and the reason is that Michael Cohen is one of the only individuals who has lived in all three of Donald Trump's worlds. His personal world, we know that by the dealings he did with Stormy Daniels. His world, he acted as a surrogate during the campaign, even struck some of these agreements to silence people during the campaign. And his financial world, he was the Trump Organization lawyer, and he has come clean. I think the American people would greatly benefit with him sitting before Congress, just as you saw during the Watergate era, and giving a full allocution of what he saw.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Lawrence.
Coming up, there is now a criminal